Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good morning. Recently I just did a video where I took two broken lawnmowers and I made one. Primarily because one of them had a blown engine and the other one had a rotted deck. So I took the two, switched parts, and now I have a perfectly good running lawnmower from two. However, the one that I used, the donor one, I'm not going to just throw it out. There's a lot of great parts on this Briggs Stratton quantum engine, which is the ones that I really love. This actually was a auto choke version, which is very good. It's a shame that the engine blew. Today we're going to dissect this engine and take it completely apart and sell the parts on eBay. Also, I might use some of these other parts of the deck as well as the handles and try to use those parts to fix another motor. First, we're going to take off the top cowling. As you know, the engine has already been removed from the deck from the other machine. So there's only two? Yes. So this cover is readily available on eBay because everybody has these covers. But this cover is in pretty good shape with the exception of the sticker being a little worn out on the sticky part. But it's a good cover and you could probably get 15, 20 bucks for it on eBay. But then to ship it, you know, probably $5 or $6, you know what I mean? So you're gonna get like 10 bucks out of this thing. If you're lucky, 15, you know? But I have a few of these. We'll just save it because you run into mowers that have a bad cover or missing covers all the time. So it's good to keep. There's no oil in it because obviously the engine's blown. There's a big hole on the side of it. I'll show it to you when we get to it. Take the dipstick out, keep it. The gas cap, very useful for the gas cap. However, this is a quantum gas tank that has this type of gas cap, which is a just put on and turn. I guess it's a little more than a quarter turn, you know, almost a half a turn actually. But nevertheless, it's a self-contained cap plus gas tank. So these things easily, you can get 30 bucks for it on eBay. You'll probably spend $6 or $7 on shipping it, provided that it's under a pound. If it's over a pound, you're gonna end up spending like 8 bucks on the shipping, you know. So you list it for like 20 bucks, do like $10 shipping, so a total of 30 bucks. You'll spend like 8 bucks to ship it, and you'll pocket like 18, 20 bucks minus eBay fees, you know. Remember, eBay makes money by helping you sell stuff. Without eBay, you're not selling it, see? So I'm more than happy to give them $2.50 to help me sell a $30 part, of which $10 of it goes to the shipping, right? So I'll make like $18 out of it. Whatever, you sell 20 of these times 18. These are 5/16 bolts to remove the gas tank. Once you take this off, on the other side here, you have the fuel line connected to another 3/8 bolt with a spacer there. Like I said, 3/8 bolt to remove this long thing, along with the spacer that's right there. People forget to put the spacer in the back. Then remove the hose clamp for the fuel line. Rotate it. Remember, I don't want to break this fuel tank because it's worth money. That's water, I believe. And here it is. Here is a auto choke quantum Briggs gas tank with the cap on it. I'll just take some pictures when I'm done of all the stuff that I just removed, and it's money all day long. Gas actually smells okay. Next is a 5/16 to remove the oil dipstick reservoir. pops out just like that. This you don't get too much money for. Maybe $6. It'll cost you $3 to send, you know, so it's really not worth it to sell this. I got 1,000 of these. But good for parts, you know what I mean? Stick dipstick back in here, and if you ever run into one that has a bad dipstick, you got one. Actually, I take it back. I have sold a couple of these before, but not many. Next is the recoil starter. On the Briggs Quantum, as you know, they're riveted onto the recoil starter. So to remove the recoil starter, it's 4 3/8 bolts. 2 that go in vertically in the back. If you guys don't have an impact gun and you're still turning these things with a ratchet and a screwdriver, you're crazy. This saves so much time and effort on your wrist. Why wouldn't you want to make your life easier? You know, they're not expensive. I mean, the good brands are kind of expensive, but I mean, it's worth it. It'll pay for itself in a year after you use it. I mean, the amount of time that you put into it, turning a wrench and a ratchet, it just takes too long. Time is money, you know. By the way, for all you guys who think that these things are American made or anything, like Milwaukee and DeWalt and Black & Decker, all that stuff, if you dig in deep, you'll know that the companies that own these companies are in China. These were all made in China. Everything. Pretty much. I mean, unless you want to go spend $1,000 on a Snap-on impact. Snap-on's probably the only American one I know of. But if you dig in deep, they have, they kind of fake it out, make you think that it's American. But if you dig in deep, you'll see that the parent companies are all Chinese companies that own them. Anyway, here's your recoil starter. Remember, these recoil starters have different cutouts. A primer bulb recoil starter has a different cutout than the auto choke kind, so it may not fit. But I'm sure you guys knew that already. Recoil starters, I got 1,000 of these too. They're too heavy to ship for the amount of money people will pay for them, so it's not even worth it to sell. Because the weight, it's going to be over a pound for sure. You're going to have to get a big box with insulation. You're going to be spending $8, $9, $10 to ship that anywhere in the United States. Is somebody gonna spend $20 on it? Maybe. But what are you gonna make? $10 out of it? I guess it might be worth it if you're hard up on cash, whatever. Anyway, just yesterday, as a matter of fact, my friend Jason over at Pate's Performance, he saw my video or Instagram clip of my making one good lawnmower out of 2, right? And he says, "Ooh, can I have that spring that connects this air vane on an auto choke system?" And I said, you know what? I don't even know if it's an auto choke. So I went outside to look, and sure enough, this was an auto choke. I took the spring off. I put it in an envelope with one of my new stickers. Actually, it's an older sticker, but I don't think I ever gave Jason a sticker. So I gave him a sticker and that spring, and in turn, he gave me 2 cans of Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. Anyway, I just love it when, you know, 2 dudes that do the same thing can trade parts and not have to go buy it, you know? And I get a couple of sodas. Anyway, this is the air vane. I've successfully sold these for about $8 each, plus like $3 or $4 in shipping, right? So no matter what you do, even if it's like a 1 ounce, 2 ounce to 4 ounce item, your shipping is gonna be like at least $3 to $4 to ship. The cheapest way to go with tracking. So while this thing only weighs like maybe 2 ounces, right? It's still going to cost you $4 to ship it to California. But if it was in Pennsylvania, it would only be like $3.80 or something, you know? Just giving you guys an idea about, you know, sometimes there are things that are worth sending, but the shipping will take up a lot of the profit, so why bother, you know? But these air vanes I do sell pretty successfully. I'll be able to list this one too. Also, this bolt that holds the air vane is always missing, so I have to try to keep that together. Next, we have the magneto. They're a 1/4 inch, and of course, you see, with a 1/4 inch impact, sometimes you just use this, the adapter, to get it, but sometimes it's been worn so much that you have to actually go and find a 1/4 inch one. A bit that is magnetized. Doesn't have to be magnetized, but see, that's a tighter fit. Remember, you can use an impact to take it out, but always put it on with a ratchet, because if you strip the posts on this just to put a magneto on, your engine's Donski.
Henry, that was a very weak Donski.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't want my blood pressure to go up from saying Donski too loud. Here's the magneto kill wire. This is attached to the mechanism on here for the brake, the flywheel brake. And then when you release the bail handle, the cable retracts and it grounds it out, sending the ground out signal to the magneto, and that's what stops your engine. But you guys knew that already, right? Anyway, I got a million of these magnetos, but it's not worth selling, because eBay has them brand new for like 10 bucks, you know what I mean? So things like that, it's just not worth it. So next thing we have here is the brake mechanism that I was just talking about for the flywheel. I'll show you. So the cable, which is Donski, goes in here, goes in there. When you pull the brake bail handle cable, it goes like that. So it releases the brake from the flywheel, so the flywheel spins freely. Then when you want to stop the engine, you let go. The brake touches the flywheel, stops the engine, and at the same time, this part over here grounds, causing a signal to go to the magneto that stops the engine. So, should we take the flywheel off? Let's take the flywheel off. Here is a, I want to say it's a 1-inch socket on a 1/2-inch impact. I got this through a review. It doesn't seem very powerful, to be honest with you. This is Chinese made, see? Mancella. Like I said, it's not very powerful. Let's try a DeWalt with an adapter on it. So the actual correct socket is actually a 15/16. 1 inch will work, but it's not an exact fit. 15/16 is an exact fit. Problem is, it has a 1/2-inch socket, so my 3/8 won't fit it. And the only adapters that I could find was the 1/2-inch into the 3/8. It's not a 3/8 into a 1/2-inch. I have 2 of these, and I know I have one. I just can't find it. It's so annoying where I don't know where I put it. You know what I mean? So of course I can't use my DeWalt impact for that because I can't find the thing. So I gotta go whip this damn thing out. This huge thing which I have to plug into power. I mean, it always works. I just have to pull it out and plug it in, and
That's not that much trouble, Henry. Just do it.
oh, shut up. Anyway, so that's the nut. You're a nut. Here's the cup. I got 1,000 cups. People do buy these, but how much do you think you get for it? $5? Hey, $5 is $5, right? Anyway, so here's a cup. Flywheel. Because we don't really care about this, right? Because it's busted. The flywheel actually is worth something. Sometimes. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to go get a crowbar and a sledgehammer. Not that it matters, because we know that probably the crankshaft is busted. The connecting rod is busted, right? So we'll just shove it where the brake is usually a good place to do it, but my car's in the way, so just gonna stuff it over here. And it's tough because this is, you don't have good leverage, so I have to step on the engine so it doesn't move around. We'll just slam this, pull upwards, and that's it. I know it seems a little violent and everything, but honestly that's how you get the flywheel off. There you go, see? Always works. That's the Tyrrell way. Fastest way to do it. Here's a good key, I believe. Anyway, there's the flywheel. Flywheels actually sell pretty well. Not so much for these lawn mowers, but for lawn tractors, they sell very well. You get like 30, 40 bucks for a flywheel from a lawn tractor, you know, but it'll cost you $18.95 to put it in a flat rate, medium-sized box, ship anywhere in the U.S., one flat rate. So, you know, if you're listing a flywheel for 30 bucks, you have to add $18 shipping. So you spend the shipping, you'll make like 30 bucks. But people throw away the flywheels. Me, I save them and sell them for 30 bucks. Anyway, you'll get maybe 15, 20 bucks for it when it's all said and done. Take pictures of that too. And here, let's take a look at this key. Yeah, your standard flywheel key from Briggs Stratton. This one's a little sheared. Very slightly. You could still use it. It's okay. Just flip it on the other side where it's not slightly sheared. You know, you could put it in backwards or something like that and it won't touch the part that you think. Actually, it wasn't sheared at all. It's just dirt. So this is a good key. I save these keys for whenever we need them. So I got to get on the other side now. Oh, you know what? You guys could see this brake, right? So we'll do the brake assembly now. We'll just take it off real quick. So I've sold a few of these brake assemblies too. I guess people mess them up or the spring's lost or something. So it's 2 5/16. And here's the brake assembly. Pull out the wire for the magneto kill. And there you go. There's a brake assembly. It works. Pretty good meat still on the brake pad too. Good tension on the spring. People buy this for, I don't know, I guess 10 bucks, something like that. So you'd list it for like 15. $5 of it goes for you shipping it to them for 4 or 5 bucks. And then you make 10 bucks out of it. Next we have the vent cover. You don't really need to take that out, but I told you that I was going to dissect it, and I am. So 4 1/4-inch screws. For the vent cover. These are worthless. Just wanted to show you what it looks like. Here you go. Next, we're going to take apart the carburetor side. So I got to move. Get you guys a good view. You've all done this, I'm sure. 3 5/16 to remove the air filter base, whereas that one only had 2. Goes into that vent hole right there, which is attached to the breather. You don't get much for that. People do buy them, but not even worth the time. Hey. Then you have 2 3/8, and it's tough to get there without removing that hose, which apparently they're gonna make me do.
Who's they, Henry?
You know, they. You know, like when they tell you it's gonna snow tomorrow.
So the weatherman?
No, not the weatherman.
Then who?
Oh, shut up. Three-eighths over here, 3/8 on the other side. It's like the easiest carburetor to remove and work on. That's the reason why I love these engines so much. Z-bend off of the throttle linkage. And there you go. There's your Briggs & Stratton quantum carburetor that is the auto choke kind. The auto choke kind has a choke flap. So you can see there's water coming out of here. It's not gas, water. There you go. There's the mechanism. That air vane that I spoke about earlier goes right into this bracket there. This spring is actually kind of useful too, because you lose this spring pretty often. So this is kind of valuable. I'll save this for a future application when I run into a picked mower that doesn't have that. Then there's a 3/8 over here that holds the bracket to the carburetor. I also saved these 3/8 bolts because they're useful. Of course that's a 1-inch, isn't it? Of course. But while we do that, we have the intake manifold over here. And of course I need to get the right one. On this side it's a 1-inch to hold this bracket, which is, I believe, also a head bolt too. Doubles as one. And this bracket comes off. I'll save the bracket, you know. Why not? It's small enough. Throw it into a drawer somewhere full of them, you know. This little sheet metal thing pops out. Or like they say in Canada, pops out. Throw the carburetor there. Throw that there. So the parts there. 1/4 inch to get the intake manifold off. I've actually sold a few of these intake manifolds too, provided they're in good condition. Also, these 1/4 inch bolts are also useful to keep. So that looks okay. It's not busted or chipped or cracked on the opening here. It's just dirty. So you get like $8, $10 for that. All right, let's take the head bolt off. It's fun taking apart an engine, provided you have the right tools. Now, if you were just doing this with a ratchet, it'd take you forever. Plus, it's not as fun. Here's an O-ring for that carburetor. Got 1,000 of those. Looks like all the bolts are out. The spark plug is still in there. There we go. There's the head. I have a lot of these too. I have a lot of heads. We'll save them because it's a quantum head. I don't think they're worth that much. I haven't really tried to sell any of those. Alright, let's take the muffler off. So here's the muffler. You got 2 3/8 long bolts in here. Usually they have these metal things that prevent it from moving, but it's already rusted away. So we don't gotta worry about that.
We don't gotta worry about that? Is that English, Henry?
Oh, shut up.
You shut up.
Is that a 7/16? Holy cow.
Is that Boba screaming?
Yes. 7/16? 7/16. There's the bolts. These are kind of useful. Sometimes I'm searching for these and I can't find them, you know? There's the muffler with the gasket. Got a heat shield here. Some more gaskets for the auto choke mechanism. This is the part that when the engine is heated up, this thermostat, if you will, moves the air vane to close the choke or open the choke completely. So this is actually pretty useful. So here we go. There's most of the engine. Let me Let me show you the hole. I forget what that is. I think that goes here somewhere for the intake manifold. Here we go. You guys see that okay? That's the hole. And as you can see, the connecting rod is sticking out of it. Crankshaft looks to be okay, but I'm sure the journal's all messed up. It is. So let's flip this upside down. And we'll take the sump cover off. So, should I try to take off the blade adapter first, because you're not going to be able to get the sump off without taking the blade adapter off. And the blade adapter is very hard to get off. Really hard. It could take hours to do that. Well, I got time right now. So I'm going to use some Deep Creep from Seafoam. Just some penetrating oil. Just shoot it in the hole. Not that it's going to do anything, because it's not going to work that fast. I'm just going to get to the part where you have more room here. Too much room here. Some room there. Just to put that there. Get a sledgehammer. Oh! How about that? That was easy. Huh? That's one for the books, because it's never that easy. Not that that was super easy, but I mean, it's pretty good. You know what I mean? Did you guys see that? I think you saw it. Alright, well, that's the blade adapter you could use. I'm going to keep this because I always run into blade adapter issues. I never have the right blade adapter, and this is clearly the 5-star AYP Craftsman or Husqvarna. Synergy, it says. And this has the self-propulsion pulley already integrated into it. So this is useful. Definitely keep that. Because I know I'll need it someday, you know. So now that we got that off, we can take the sump off. No problem. 3/8. I took the extension off because you get more torquing action with less distance. This DeWalt is very good. About 200 inch-pounds of torque is the average that I remember. 3/8 bolts. That's kind of wimpy, huh? Lots of edits on this video, guys. Lots of edits. Oh, here's the drain plug. Not that I really need it. Not that I really need it, but if I'm going to throw this away, might as well keep the drain plug. I might need it someday. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. Why not? Keep it. Might need it someday.
You'll never need that, Henry.
Oh, shut up.
You're mean to me.
All right, let's get the sump off. There you go. Come on, come out. Connecting rod is getting in the way of it. It's all right. I'm not going to save this anyway. Something is holding this damn thing together. All right, there's the sump cover. There's a sump cover. I'm not going to keep it. I have a lot. I'm never going to put together a quantum engine. You could find these engines on the street. for free. Here's a cam. Should I keep the cam? Sometimes you look at the cam and you say, do I ever... You know what? Why should I keep the cam? I'm never going to rebuild a quantum engine. Famous last words. I don't know. This one looks okay. It's dirty, but the lobes look good. Nah. I'm never going to rebuild a quantum engine. I get them too cheap. I get them for free on the street. So would well, I wouldn't use this either, you know, crankshaft. Not to mention the fact that it's the journal's damaged, you know. I'll tell you what's worth it though, is the connecting rods for the quantum engines. They're like 30 bucks, but they're usually always blown. That's why they're expensive. Get it? Piston, should I keep the piston? No, of course I'm not going to keep the piston. There you go. There's a quantum piston with a blown connecting rod. Rings look pretty good. Oil ring on the bottom looks okay. Pretty good. There's no scoring on the sides of the piston, but the connecting rod is DONESKI! This might be worth it to keep. The little nut over here. Oh, what would I ever use it for, you know? I can't always keep everything. I always want to keep everything, you know? Of course, I can't find the bit now. I never find the bits. The bits, the bits, the bits. Now. What the hell, I'll save it. You never know when you're gonna need it. It's just another bolt. It's just another bolt everywhere I go. Okay, should I remove this? I did say I was gonna remove everything, so I will. Just for you guys. Let's see if the 3/8 will fit on this bolt. It will. Once you loosen that, you can get a screwdriver and pry this governor lever off. So that there is your governor lever. Your governor linkage goes on here to the carburetor on the throttle. It's got 1,000 of these too. Never ever use it. Never sell it. But like I said, it doesn't take up any room, so why not? Here is the other cover to the side vent cover. I mean, if anything, I'll keep the 3/8 bolts because they're very common. You always use the 3/8 bolts, so I keep all the bolts. There's the breather mechanism. I guess I'll keep that too.
Hey, Henry, you're keeping everything.
Yeah, I guess. This thing comes off, but I'm not going to take it off. This rubber boot is actually good. I'll keep that too. Because sometimes you need that. You're like, it's missing. I'll put that in a Ziploc bag with all the nuts and bolts and screws and stuff. Just so I could use it. That I know if I need a quantum part, I'll just go look for that one. I'm taking this tin off because I want the bolt. That's a pretty good trauma to that engine block, huh? Here are the tappets. Come right out. You now have access to the valves with the springs. Should I take them out? I did say I was gonna do it all. Oh, that's a pain though, guys. It's a real pain. You have to get like a spring release thingamajig. Unless I could just... It's kind of tough. just have to pivot it so it comes off of this little notch there, and the valve comes out. Pretty good. I'm not going to save it. And then the springs, they just sit there like that. So you just pivot to the big hole on the side and it comes off, releases. I'm not going to keep it. It's good though. I'm not going to keep it. There's the bore, place where the valves go. Muffler, exhaust. That's where the intake manifold was. The 2 posts where the magneto goes. Crankshaft hole. Governor lever post. It's just a sheet metal heat shield there. That's it. Here's the governor shaft. You don't want that either. And that's held together by a clip over here. Kind of a pain to take off, so I'm not gonna. You never save that either. Anyway, that's it, man. That's dissecting a blown quantum engine. It was kind of fun. Got some good parts. And here's the crankshaft gear, plastic. I'm not gonna keep that. I'm not gonna keep any of this interior stuff because I'm never gonna rebuild an engine you can find on the street. You know what I mean? And you get a lot of these on the street, even though they're good parts. Some nut may need them around the country, but I'm not gonna bother listing it because it takes time, effort to list it, and to make literally $2-3 for it. So if it's only gonna be $2 or $3, it's not worth going through the trouble to do it, you know? Here in America, you can find $2-3 on the street. Just gonna find one of my many thousands of boxes, line it with some newspaper, and throw it out.
Wow, Henry, you're throwing something out?
Yeah, I'm gonna start to, because I have just too much crap, you know?
That's for sure.
On the mower itself, the deck, we have a good self-propelled cover. You could sell these for $15-20 too, for sure, because I have a lot. Transmission, I don't know if it's good or not. I don't want to find out. This belt is DONESKI because, as you can see, it's separating, right? So we'll leave that the way it is. 2 front wheels are bald, so I'm not going to bother because I have so many damn wheels. But the rear wheels look good, so I will remove the rear wheels to keep. 9/16. See? That rear wheel's good. Good tread. And I'll probably take the handle because I think I might be able to use it for another repair. And you just get the handle off this way. Push that in. Get that out. And I'm going to see about that cable that's attached to the front self-propulsion too. The cable is actually good. So I disconnect it from that side so that I have more slack on this side. And you put this down. Take the Z back. This is a good cable, and I'm always looking for the cable to do the front self-propulsion. Let's see if that retracts when I pull on it. It does. See? So that's a good cable, man. So there we go. I've got the handle assembly that I'm going to use. A couple of wheels. This stuff is trash. Even though the transmission might work, I mean, it's a lot of work to remove that transmission, you know. Also, I used to take off the side deflector. I used to take them off and sell them. I have sold a few in my life, but it's just so much trouble that I'm just going to leave it. You know, I'm thinking about it. But no, I'm not going to keep it. I just got too much stuff. So there we go. We got some good parts here. Head, cover, thermostat, lever, heat shield. I'm not going to keep any of that stuff. Muffler, I got so many. Recoil starter, flywheel, brake mechanism. The gas tank, definitely list on eBay because they sell. Maybe the flywheel, the brake mechanism, not going to sell that. Air vane I'll keep for future. This cover I'll sell. So I'll hold on to. And there it is. Got the handle for the mower because one of the cables is good. The other one I believe is DONESKI. Actually, it might be good. I'm not sure. 2 front wheels, transmission. It has to be engaged, so I don't know if it works or not. Maybe it will, but I'm not going to find out. I don't want it. I used to keep the height adjuster too, but I don't keep them anymore. I just have too many, so I'm just going to chuck this deck on the next garbage day. Got 2 wheels from it, handles, and that's it. That's completely dissecting a Craftsman mower with a quantum auto choke engine on it. Pretty interesting, pretty fun. That's a destruction of a blown connecting rod out the engine block. Shout out to Charles Coppolino from Midlothian, Illinois for buying one of my stickers. And to William Bryce from Spartanburg, South Carolina. A lot of new names here supporting the channel. Buy a sticker. Thanks all for joining me on today's dismantling of a Craftsman with a quantum engine on it. Taking everything apart and seeing what it is, what's worth stuff, what isn't, what's worth just throwing it away. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Ah, look at that, baby.
I'm just giving them one of my stickers.
See you next time. Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video, and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.